You are Locked On Texas Tech, your daily podcast on the Texas Tech Red Raiders. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Great to be with you again on Locked On Texas Tech on the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day, always free and available on YouTube or anywhere you get podcasts. And thanks as always for making us your first listen with the only Chris Level. I'm Casey Cowan. Today's episode brought to you by FanDuel. And if you want to be right in the middle of the action this season, visit FanDuel.com and place your NFL live bets all season long. Chris, ho, ho, ho. Merry Christmas as we come to you on this blessed Christmas Eve in West Texas with the Locked On Texas Tech special edition. It's the Christmas wish list to end all Locked On Texas Tech special edition Christmas wish lists. Psst. You know what I'm saying, right? We are looking ahead to some things we'd like to see come to pass, some sooner rather than later, covering a variety of subjects. And, of course, we'd love to hear from you. Shoot us a text if you're a mobster or in the YouTube comments. What's on your Red Raider wish list to finish out 25 and burst into 2026? And if I could, Chris, I'd like to kick off our conversation today in Miami, Florida, because something that has been, I think, on all of our minds, and we'll discuss on an upcoming episode, this layoff that Texas Tech has had to endure leading up to this ball game. Meanwhile, Oregon has a game in their pocket now recently over James Madison. How do these things impact these two teams? The first round bye, will you be ready to go? Because of a QB injury component and some others, I think a lot of us were okay with maybe a little extra time on the other side of the conference championship weekend, and we did get that. So here we are. My Christmas wish list, if I can kick her off, would be a fast start for Texas Tech in Miami, Florida. I know that's very complicated analysis, but for the most part, I'm kind of feeling like if there is an advantage for one or a disadvantage for Tech layoff-wise, it's going to be revealed or found there in the first quarter or not at all. I'm kind of wondering if maybe what Oregon had there against James Madison gives them a chance to have a faster start than a team that's sitting on about 3.5 weeks, but you and I know the identity of this team this year has been fast starts and domination in the first quarter to the tune of outscoring your opponents 164-20. So I'm going to put it on the list, and I actually feel pretty good about the fact that Santa might deliver this one.
Yeah, you know, it's interesting because I think generally speaking, you have been a fast start team. You just kind of put some games away or put the games out of reach and just been in command. And yet the Big 12 championship game, the game at Utah, I guess the other game against BYU, some of your, against Kansas State, it was fast finishes, that you just kind of blitzed them. But I'm with you here. I think that is going to be very important. I think what most people are assuming here that are talking about this game nationally. I don't know whether they're going to be right, but I certainly see where everybody's going with this. Most people really think that points will be at a bit of a premium here. As explosive as the two offenses are, the defenses in both cases are equally as good, okay? And I think that this is of the four quarterfinal games, I think this is like it's the second lowest point total, like at 52 points is the over-under total that Vegas set. So I think a lot of people feel like 21-17, 2017, 31-20. I mean, just not a game played in the 30s that maybe somebody gets in the 30s and other teams in the 20s or maybe even 20s or teens. But that's kind of what the thought is. So a fast start, i.e., getting a couple of scores fairly early would seemingly be good for whoever does that. And for Texas Tech. So that's one of the other narratives here. If we're wishing for stuff, I'm ready for Baron Morton, for Santa to take the coal out of his stocking and put a Red Ryder BB gun right in that stocking, because I think that's what a lot of the naysaying out there has been about. People see these teams as pretty similar. Vegas has this game as 1 and 1.5 point spread, very equal, both 12-1 records. But that's what I've seen a lot of people pick Oregon because of the quarterback difference or perceived difference. Dante Moore, thought to be one of the top two quarterbacks potentially taken in next year's draft. And then there's Baron Morton. Dante Moore can move around. He can extend plays. He can deliver any throw. Doesn't necessarily need to run. And then there's Baron Morton. Right? I'm kind of, and I get it, but I think that the fast start and your quarterback, I'm not so certain that Baron Morton won't be the most important player for you on this day. Maybe that's David Bailey. Maybe that's Jacob Rodriguez. I don't know. But I think that he will need to make some plays. He can't just manage it and be just dispersing the football here and there. He's going to have to make some plays, extend plays. But I think that will be I'm looking forward to seeing what Baron does with this opportunity, because I do think he'll feel much better. I do think this break he's been healthier and all those things. But and I get the credit for Dante Moore, but I just know that against Indiana, the other best defense he's played against all year, he got sacked 6 times. He didn't throw for 200 yards. I think he got there was multiple turnovers there, and so he struggled. And you could argue that Texas Tech's defense is as good or better. I don't know, but it will be interesting to see how kind of that matchup is played.
Yeah, and there's no way to really know this or put some scientific figure to it, I guess. But I am sort of wondering if this will be about as healthy maybe as Baron Morton has been in a long time. I don't know. We're talking about a lingering and significant issue in the sense that it's not just going away in the matter of a couple of weeks, but it's been a decently long layoff, and there was some time prior to that. Yeah. So maybe I'm just talking myself into it as a fan. I don't know. No. I haven't seen the charts.
I think you're right. I think you're right. And I would say that it's probably safe to assume this is the healthiest he will have been since prior to the season starting this year, prior to the UAPB game, which is when he got hurt. So we've been dealing with this throughout, and yet you went 12-1. So, which is why I think he deserves to be talked about differently than a lot of his predecessors. And I just hope people remember in time that he did all this with a broken leg. So, I mean, it's a facts. We've seen the X-ray. BJ Simmons did what he did on an ACL, and Baron Morton did it on a broken leg. West Texas tough, man. So another, I've got several wishes here. I would say too, just to fluff this thing up here, just to kind of get some of this out. If anybody is gifted someone a fruitcake out there, I wish that you find a trash can to throw that in. Okay, that's what I wish for you. You don't consume a fruitcake. I don't know why they still exist. It was a terrible idea, whoever thought of it.
I bet bowl execs have something to do with it, Chris. A remnant of the past.
Yes, I think Calvin.
Maybe straight to that Supermax in El Salvador if you're giving a fruitcake.
Yeah, it's a bullseye. Yeah, I mean. Yeah, what are we even doing? Disgusting. I Die Hard is the best Christmas movie. Nakatomi Plaza and the whole thing. I think that Argyle, who was sitting in the limo the whole time, missing all the chaos with the teddy bear next to him, bigger than he was, deserves a shout out because he was kind of this great character, this and all that really just missed all the fun, right? So anyway, while you're baking cookies and doing your thing, hope you got Nakatomi Plaza getting blown up, and the cops buying Twinkies on your TV somewhere.
It ain't Christmas till you got a yippee-ki-yay mother.
Now I have a machine gun. Ho, ho, ho. Yeah. The code, please. Okay, so there's all that. I would tell you, in all seriousness, the best new Christmas movie out there is a couple years old. It's the one Red One, I think is what it's called, which was like code for Santa Claus. It's kind of like a Marvel comic. You've seen this, yeah? Marvel Comics, The Rock's in it, but it kind of in a great messaging and all that. I think it hadn't gotten enough love. It's a good one. It's one that it's the modern day Elf or Home Alone or whatever. But yeah, go watch those monsters and The Rock beats them all up. It's good stuff. If you smell what the Rock was cooking, because he's like the lead elf or the head security guard for Santa Claus. Okay, back on football.
Deep in the bag.
I know, man. I know. Sorry, I just felt like I had to get all that out.
Thank you.
we're wishing for stuff, and we're wishing for a fast start, and you're wishing for Baron Morton to play well and maybe even play better than Dante Moore and all these things. How about red zone conversions?
First, today's episode brought to you by FanDuel, and football is in full force, and FanDuel's keeping you stocked with action every game day with a can't-miss offer. Right now, new customers can bet only $5, and if your bet hits, you're getting $300 in bonus bets to use across the app. Player props, building a same-game parlay, or even jumping in live as the action unfolds. Any way you like it, FanDuel has you covered. Quick, easy, and secure every time. If you're ready to play, download the FanDuel app now by visiting FanDuel.com to get started. That's FanDuel.com to place your first $5 bet.
How about red zone conversions? And I want to offer up some stuff here because I think it's important to know what is fascinating about this game. I've seen a lot of people point to hey, I'm going to take Oregon in this game. I think their quarterback's a bit better. I think that they've got a bit more playoff experience. Texas Tech's new to the party. Dante Moore's breaking the tie. But also Texas Tech's not very good in the red zone. Here's what some people aren't telling you, though, and I think it's important to note. Do we realize that Oregon is 125th in the country in red zone defense?
Did not realize that.
How about that? 24 times into the red zone and 18 touchdowns they have allowed. That is 75% of the time, people. Math. So just pointing that out. So your weakness is their weakness. Something's got to give. They're also 114th in the country in fourth down defense. So should you decide to, if Joey Analytics decides to show up and start rolling some dice and because he has to, or because he wants to, or because screw it, let's roll, man, rolling bones, man. Odds are in your favor there. 29 times they have defended a fourth down, and 19 times it's been converted, that Oregon defense. So just throwing that out. A lot of the other Oregon defensive numbers, really good though. Really good. But wanted to point those two things out. So there's that. I wish for Tyree Bryan, basketball-wise, to figure out his role in 2026. I think that you may get a glimpse of kind of what Grant has decided this coming Sunday against Winthrop, and figuring out as we play off of that Duke game kind of where you're going, because it's Winthrop here on Sunday, and then you've got conference play beginning with Oklahoma State here in town. And so is Tyree Bryan going to be a part of the starting lineup still? Is he a part of the rotation? Is he but I just think you're going to need him at some point. And so this is the trials and tribulations of how long the season goes. And while we're talking about Tyree Bryan trying to figure it out and figure out what role is his, it looks like it's a confidence issue. It looks like he's just kind of questioning everything, or just doesn't know where he fits and all that. But to the contrary, I think your boy Lawan Watts, man, we've started to see this kind of coming. He looks like the player that they recruited and is the Big 12 newcomer of the year. Just gotta do so without fouling. Part of that's not his fault, because he's having to guard much bigger people and play extended minutes and all those things. But there's a couple of basketball things as well. I can keep going too on football or basketball, and I've got a few other things in the bottom of Santa's sack that I would like to hand out but I don't want to keep talking. I would like for Cowan to grant some wishes as well.
Christmas Vacation is the best Christmas movie. So I wanted to correct that from earlier in the show.
Yeah,
misinformation on the program.
It's full. The bleeper's full. Yes,
correct.
Yes.
Holding out for management and whatnot. We can all identify with that. I'm glad you bring up the round ball guys, because I actually wanted to wish up an order of the purifying waters of Lake Minnetonka, maybe to be shipped over to United Supermarkets Arena. Can I just wish for everybody to be feeling a little better? Could we get healthy at any point in the season, or at least with a few key guys? Because Chris, as we've talked about to this point in the year, it's just been frustrating to not really know what the picture could even look like when you haven't had much time. I remember early in the season, Coach McCaslin would be kind of saying, well, we've had this number of practices, back to back with our group or whatever, or we haven't. And it just seems like he's still kind of been treading water in that area, I guess, unfortunately, most notably to me, at least, with Luke Bamboye.
Yeah, I wish I felt better about the Luke Bamboye situation on timetable. He was smiling and bouncing around, after the Duke win, like they all were. But he or Josiah Mosley, or heaven forbid, both of them. Imagine that. What would be helping you big time. But in the meantime, I think a couple of Santa's elves named Nolan Groves and Leon Horner played outside themselves a bit, played beyond their means a little bit, or maybe this is just what they're capable of, and I'm here for it, all of it, whatever was going on. I just don't know if this is sustainable. I think if everybody points to that Duke game and go, okay, well, this is what they are. I think that was a unique situation. I think that it was a special sports moment. You're going to need some continuity and some growth and some more depth and some more key stuff happening, especially when you start dealing with true road games. Because, I mean, are we suggesting that Leon Horner and Nolan Groves are ready to go guard the Houston Cougars here in about a week and a half in the Fertitta Center? I don't know. Maybe they are.
Cameron Boozer?
Yeah, maybe.
Maybe. Check that on that.
Yeah, that's right. Maybe they are. So that's the debate, internal debate. Like, was this a one-timer? Is this sustainable? Is this But hey, man, Santa's elves, man, doing their thing. Shout out to Nolan and Leon though, and to Tyree, because really you're all needed at some level, and you're kind of having to play outside of your position, play against bigger people at times, or you're being asked to score more than maybe we should be asking you to, but this is what the team needs. And so I'm just hoping for some growth there.
I think there was a little one night magic in it, no doubt. I mean, it was a crazy Saturday night, and I don't know that it's sustainable to run through the Big 12 Conference doing exactly what you did, and only that night. But you found a little something as far as defensively where you can go. Yep. If you're really high intensity, high urgency on that end, and that's further than you would otherwise. So there's a little something, but I couldn't deny that I think there was some Saturday night magic involved there as well.
And the Garden has a lot to do with that. I mean, I think your head coach has the most to do with it. Okay, so there's probably more in there than we would think, just because of who's coaching these guys. And
True.
Grant just kind of. I mean, again, he's famous for squeezing water out of a rock if you need to, but everybody's like, is this the most improbable win you can ever remember? Well, yeah, it is in the last year. because the Houston one was pretty damn improbable too. And in fact, Grant didn't even get to watch all of it. He saw all of 3 or 4 minutes, and then he sent the stat sheet up into the stands, I think multiple times. Yeah, but hey, toughest team wins. And no JT Toppin and all that stuff. That's well documented. Shout out to Coach Gerlich's Lady Raiders, undefeated, ranked in the top 25. I think Texas Tech is the only school in the country right now. I think Texas Tech is the only school in the country right now with a football program in the CFP, and their men's and women's basketball teams both ranked. Pretty salty. Mm-hmm. This is also part of the just this brand awareness tour that you've been on. So they beat Baylor for the first time in, I don't know, 362 tries or something. I think they
2011, I believe.
Yeah, it was. I exaggerated just a little bit, but
only a little.
Yeah, you get my point. I think it was, what was it, like 30, 31 times? I think, I think that was the actual streak. So, and to do so in Waco, awesome. Yeah. Just amazing what confidence in the non-conference can do. And a lot of people are waiting for the rug to get pulled out. Are like, okay, was this fool's gold? Well, I mean, she obviously scheduled well, if anything, because of what it did at the beginning of conference play. Now we'll see if it's sustainable and all those things. But hey, man, legit stuff. And then I wish for dear Santa, I wish for health and happiness and mainly health to JT Toppin and Christian Anderson. These are two players that I think are the two players involved in the most like ball screens of anybody in the entire country on the offensive end. We said this all offseason. It's like you're filling in these parts, but it's all revolves around the simplest play in sports: pick and roll, ball screen, and then it's like, and it's so difficult to defend when you have guys that are elite and so skilled operating off of it. That's why the NBA does it over and over and over again. And it can kind of be boring to watch unless your team's beating Duke in front of 22,000 people or whatever the Garden holds on a Saturday night in MSG. I enjoyed that thoroughly.
No question. You held them to 9 less than Northern Colorado. What does that say about Northern Colorado?
Unbelievable.
Amazing.
I mean, sports, man. It makes no sense. Makes no sense. And then I wonder if I think that Kenyon Sadiq will be the player that gets talked about the most for Oregon coming into this game, other than Dante Moore. And I really hope that he doesn't really get worked up about things like this, I don't think, but I really hope that sticks in the craw of David Bailey, because I think that Sadiq and Bailey are probably the two highest draftable players in this game. If you don't, because we're not sure if Moore's going to declare or not, he probably will, but as non-quarterbacks, but I think that you could make the argument that if it isn't Behren Morton, that David Bailey is the most important player for Texas Tech in this Orange Bowl. And here's why. He could remember the matchup, but when you played Utah and you played these elite tackles and these NFL tackles, you know, Fano and the other kid at Utah, and they're going to be first round and all these things. And I think you won said matchup. Kyle Whittingham, heck, you knocked him into retirement or knocked him elsewhere because he's like, I never in a million years thought that we get dominated on the line of scrimmage. And they did. And it had to do with David Bailey and Romello Height and Lee Hunter and on it went. Well, I think David Bailey could make him a bag full of money in this game based on how it looks against Alex Harkey and Isaiah World, who are thought to be NFL tackles. World is better than Harkey. I think Harkey could maybe be a bit of a weak link on their offensive line, but he's still thought to be a late round pick, if anything. But World, I think, is thought to be in that first, second round range. If Bailey does what he did against Utah in this game, you're winning, period. If Dante Moore has to move off of his spot, if he feels pressure, if he gets sacked, which is what Indiana did 6 times, you're winning this football game. If Isaiah World is like, if he's the one that increases his draft stock in this game, I worry about your chances for victory here, because there are weapons all over the place for this Oregon offense, all over the place. This is easily the best team you have faced all year, mainly because they have offensive skill everywhere. And if David Bailey can't win that one-on-one matchup some and enough to affect the game some, I do worry. But these are two alphas, two high thought to be draft picks that I just hope David wins that tug of war more often than not.
Well, thank goodness this ain't the time for worrying. This is the time for wishing.
True. Yes.
And appreciate those wishes. Let us know what's on your list if you'd be so kind. And I wish for more time with you this week, Chris. I know we'll get that on the other side of Christmas as we will begin to look ahead more so in earnest to the Orange Bowl. So hope it's a happy holiday at the Level household and to everybody else out there across Locked On Texas Tech's fam. Damily, thank you so much, and a Merry Christmas to you all. Chris, we'll see you on the other side.
Yeah, I hope everybody gets what they want. Spend some time with friends and family, man. Be careful out there traveling. I wish for safe travels to South Beach and up and down the roads going to see family. If you got to do the Vince Vaughn, Reese Witherspoon, Four Christmases thing, and you got to bounce from family to family and all that, good luck with all that. Don't get overserved. and whatnot. But yeah, enjoy the few days of a break and enjoy some friends and family. And we'll talk to everybody on I guess Friday, and then big week next week. Big week, maybe the biggest.
Unlike there's ever been before. There's no doubt about that. We can say that literally. Get subscribed on YouTube or anywhere you get podcasts so you never miss an episode. Of course, thanks to the everydayers for always riding along in the Matador Mob. You can hit our show notes and find a link to a free 14-day trial if you're interested in joining that crew. Your direct line to Chris and myself with one-on-one text sent straight to your phone. Merry Christmas. Stay safe out there. We'll see you on the other side. For Chris, I'm Casey. Thanks as always for the time. We hope to see you back for the next round on Locked On Texas Tech.